Hello and welcome to Town Meeting TV's annual winter celebration. I will be your host tonight, Emily Brewer. I am CCTV's Marketing and Outreach Director. I've done this for a couple of years now. We've got quite a crew here. We decided to shift the party time earlier a little bit, 4 to 6 tonight. And it's always really an amazing pleasure to see so many different people that we have touched throughout the years, come together, mingle, meet each other, and celebrate the work that has been done throughout 2025. So I'm really happy to be here. We've had a big year. Like, a lot happened in 2025, just in the world, in the nation, in town, and here at CCTV. One of the things that I just had the opportunity to work on was actually a 2025 year in review video. I've done this now for a couple of years, and it's really incredibly special to get to take the time to kind of comb through the wide variety of work that has been produced throughout the year. So I would encourage you to watch this video. It should be up on our YouTube now, 2025 CCTV Year in Review. It features intern highlights, clips from all 7 new shows that we started at Town Meeting TV this year, as well as clips from our telethon. We had a 24-hour telethon this year. Can you believe that? Town Meeting TV/CCTV's first ever 24-hour telethon, which was an incredible feat. Completely 100% community-based, community-led. We had local music acts, we had local talk shows, we had all sorts of different stuff. It was really incredible to see the community come together just like they are now. So that was really special. And so tonight I will be interviewing some of the lovely folks you see here at the party and getting to know them a little bit, getting to know some of the work that they've been doing this year, what their connection is to CCTV. But before we jump into that, I would love to show you the montage of some Town Meeting TV programs that featured words are leaving me already. Programs that Town Meeting TV produced throughout 2025. So it's really inspiring. Again, it's incredible to look back, and it's so hard to choose clips to put in the year-end video because we produced something like 1,800 programs throughout 2025, which is kind of mind-boggling, to be honest with you. So we will take a look at that, and then by the time that you're back, I'll have somebody to interview.
I'll be the youngest ever person in U.S. history to appear on a general election ballot.
This guy's gonna say something?
¿Se puede o no se puede? ¿Se puede o no se puede?
we just saw and chased down Becca Ballant. Shook her hand, said hi, told her, we're looking forward to meeting with you later today, and we're here advocating for PEG Media in Vermont.
What'd you think? I mean, like I said, that was just a snippet, like a fraction of the programming that Town Meeting TV produced in 2025, which is pretty incredible. I mean, I think Chris is a good person to talk to about this. I am here with Chris Lavalette, Town Meeting CCTV, Town Meeting TV's. What is your actual title?
So now I am content curator, so I'm doing quality control for all of the content that comes through production. And then I am now officially an archivist rather than archiving associate.
Now, so Chris, I mean, I feel like some of those words are like complicated words. I mean, not to most people. But when it comes to content curation and QC, quality control, I mean, what that means is you are seeing literally every piece of content that comes into the studio and needs to be aired, shared, and archived. So you've seen all of those programs that were included in the montage. Anything that sticks out to you? I mean, I know it's a wide, 1,800 programs that you have. Think about that. That's almost 2,000 programs you've quality controlled.
It feels like I go through that in a day sometimes by the time I'm done.
Sure.
But I mean, it's all worth it. It's all great stuff. Like, it's hard with so much content coming in and out and getting from the archives from so long ago and current day. There's so much up in here, like, you could not come to me about a specific video to get anything, but there are some fun standouts. Like in my archiving one time when I was just interning here, I found a clip that was definitely like done in error. Either somebody was recording over a tape, or it just got edited on there by accident. But there was this, I believe it was from Horse Feathers, this Groucho Marx clip of just some song he was doing, I'm Against It, attached to some of our archival footage. I don't know why, it's just fun little things like that. And then of course the actual content that we do, all of the years and years of Nat going around Burlington and just filming everything. It's so good to see, and just finding the different fun clips. Like I think in the documentary, we've got that clip of the strawberries. I found that organically at some point. I didn't find that for the doc. I can't claim that. But I do remember seeing that before I watched that.
So just like for folks that aren't aware, there's this clip of Nat in the archives, Nat Ayer, CCTV co-founder, just like in a strawberry field. And he's like stuffing his face with strawberries. He's like, strawberries. It's all over his face. I can't even imagine stumbling upon that organically. Because I never met Nat. You never met Nat either, did you?
No, never.
And so, I mean, you hear so much, through our coworkers, through our peers, and you see him so as much as he's behind the camera in the archives. So you don't necessarily see him as much as you feel his presence and or hear him. So it's like one of those things where it's because Chris and I have been working a lot on building up the CCTV archives Instagram. We've really fell into a groove of like, okay, what do people want to see? And we stumbled upon this clip of Nat like trying to like park at this place, and he had a knack of filming while he was driving, which is hilarious to me. But constantly, he was always filming. Didn't matter what he was doing. But so he missed his turn, and the camera goes down, and he swears, and I just burst out laughing, and Chris is like, what's going on? And it's just like, just Nat being Nat again. Yep. So I don't want to take up too much more time here, but what is something that you are looking forward to maybe in the archiving world in 2026?
Oh boy, in the archiving world. Well, I'd be looking forward to a much more stable deck. That'd be great. Something that is more consistent and just stays there. Doesn't have to get moved, don't need repairs, don't need to get a new one. I have one right now that's working, but apparently we don't want to use it. So just always looking for the technology to improve, to continue to preserve the old technology.
Well, Chris, thank you very much. And you heard him. If you have any old VCR players out there that you want to donate to CCTV, we will take them. So bring them here. And Chris, thank you so much for the interview, but also for all of your hard work. We really appreciate you. Okay, thank you. Absolutely. Okay. That was a good way to start off the program. And speaking of good things, we've got Matt Gilson here, our brand new Operations and Finance Director. Did I get your title right?
You did, thank you.
Okay. Is this your first time on the studio, under the lights, in a program?
First time, yes. So thank you for bringing me up and introducing me. Yeah.
Any thoughts as you're like here? I mean, I think one of the funny things is whenever we've already tried to rope you into like, we were just talking about it this morning, like, Matt, you're going to be moderating election forums. There's something about the lights that seem to like be like, oh, this is real to people. Are you getting that feeling now, or are you feeling pretty comfortable?
I am getting that feeling. You know, when you're behind the lights, behind the camera, it gives a certain presence that, I'm fortunate to be a part of now, Seeing the people come in and out and use this space has been pretty much a privilege so far, Giving time to be able to speak what they want to say and, whatever they would like to do has been pretty cool to be a part of. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you just joined our team. I'd say you've been here for what, about 2 months now? Would you like to talk maybe a little bit about what drew you to CCTV and why you were interested in working here?
Yeah, for sure. So I originally came to UVM in 2007, and I studied political science. And right afterwards, I worked at the State House, and I was a field organizer for the Vermont Democratic Party, and I really enjoyed it. I pursued some different career paths kind of between there, and it's kind of interesting to me that I came kind of full circle back here because I want to do and continue to do mission-driven work. And so when I met Megan and started learning about what we're doing here, it just felt very comfortable. And that to me was one of the questions I asked to Megan was, do you like working here? Mm-hmm. And that's so important. And it was so quick, yes, and everybody's so great that made me feel privileged to be a part of it. So. Very happy. Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, you fit very well into the crew, and it's been wonderful to have you here. And I'm curious, like, is there anything going into 2026 that you're excited to dive into as you continue your work as finance director?
Yeah, well, I want to get more into the programming. My role is very much operations and finance, but there's going to be opportunities to moderate, which I want to do, and a few others. So I hope that I can help facilitate what's going on here. I don't want to be the focal point, So I'm hoping, next year I can get involved with that and get out of my comfort zone a little. And just contribute in that way. It's a shared endeavor, and I'm seeing that with you're volunteering to do things. Everybody, comes up to the plate. So I'm ready to kind of pick up that torch and do that too.
Well, I'm very excited to hear that, and I think you'll be a natural at it. I can already tell. So thank you so much for speaking with me, and you're now officially in the archives. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the party.
Thank you, Emily.
Awesome. All right. We are ready. This is one of those shows where we just keep it rolling. And I'm going to welcome Paul right onto the studio. Hey, Paul, if you would like to just introduce yourself briefly and maybe tell us a little bit about your show, Job Talk, that you do here with us. I'll hold it for you.
Thanks so much. I'm Paul Ferraro, Vermont's one-stop operator, and I started this show, Job Talk Vermont, where we look to connect Vermonters who need job search help, support, career support, advice, everything from job search strategies to other resources that you may need to become job ready. During the show, we interview an employer and talk about the job opportunities they have available. We explore different jobs that are available throughout the Vermont and different industries. We talk about job search strategies, and we cover all different events that are happening throughout Vermont that could support people looking for jobs.
And how did you get connected to CCTV? How did you find out about this opportunity?
Yeah, this is a great story. So my girlfriend's daughter was in a journalism camp through UVM this past summer, and they took a field trip to CCTV. and she came back and told me, and they actually did a live taping of a discussion that they had, and I was just so impressed by the resources that were available for them to do that, and for just like this community support to expose these students to these types of programs, to give them the opportunity to go live in front of the camera. I thought it was really amazing. So that's what prompted me to even look into it. And then I saw there was opportunities there that possibly I could work with, and through my job as the one-stop operator. And so that's where I just came up with the idea, and we just put this together, and it's been great. You guys have been really supportive, and it's been a really fun opportunity for me. And I just hope that it's will catch on, and that we could do really good things for the community.
Absolutely. I mean, that is such a wonderful story. I mean, that's one of the coolest parts of my day is just who's going to walk through the door today. And when it's groups of young people coming in to learn, media production, hone their journalism skills, it's really cool. Do you have any, it's holiday season, things are crazy, but do you have any shows scheduled for the new year yet? Anything you're excited about bringing into the studio?
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited to welcome our guest, Becky Capsalis from UVM Health. She is looking to connect people to different types of jobs that they have throughout the medical center. This includes, not just Burlington, but other locations throughout Vermont. So we're really looking to kick off the year by supporting UVM Health and the needs that our community health care has right now in terms of supplying a skilled workforce for them to operate well. And so, I'm really excited to start the year off by interviewing her.
Paul, well, thank you so much. Stay tuned for Job Talk Vermont in January for that. And before you go, I want to give you this little official, unofficial award. Thank you for being a community champion and supporting local media by coming in and having a show with us. We really appreciate you.
Man, thanks so much for having me. I love being here. I love supporting it. And I hope the community really, continues to support public access television.
Thank you so much, Paul. Take care. Enjoy the party. Okay, wonderful. Hi there. We have another community member here, Andrea. Thank you so much for coming to the party and joining us.
Well, this is wonderful. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm so grateful to Town Meeting TV for carrying the mindfulness show.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Your show is unique in that you don't produce it here in the studio with us, but so tell us a little bit about that, like what your show is and how you produce it, and then we can talk a little bit more about how to watch.
Okay. Well, Community Mindfulness started meeting in 2014. It was part of a grant to the city of Winooski to get mindfulness into the schools and social services and also, let's see, where else? Medical practices and the community. And I just volunteered to lead it. And it was a 6-week program. And people liked doing mindfulness once a week. And so we just kept it going. And I said, I'll keep being the volunteer leader as long as people want to do mindfulness. So we did go on Zoom for COVID. And so that's what I do. I record it each week on Zoom. And people check in on the link and then send it off here. Easy, very simple.
That's wonderful. I didn't realize that it was a Zoom thing that you were recording and sending us. And so you do that. I mean, it's weekly, right?
Yeah.
So that is a pretty big volume of content that you have submitted to us. Then, how long have you been submitting those programs?
I think I've been on CCTV for 2 years now, I think. Yeah. And it's so easy. I am the least technical person possible. And, you just hit a few buttons on Zoom and hit a few buttons on CCTV and send it off. And the format is, if people are interested in a weekly mindfulness practice, you don't have to have any experience in mindfulness. There's usually sort of a theme that I get from my own practice or from nature during the week. It could be compassion or equanimity or the tranquility of falling snow. And people share at the beginning what was a moment of compassion that stands out to you today? And we realize that we have these mindfulness moments all the time. And so people will share that. And then I lead about 20 minutes of mindfulness, guided mindfulness. And you can close your eyes, you can sit, you can lie down, you can do whatever you want. And then afterwards, there's questions, or we share how the practice was for us. So it's very informal and it's very interactive, and it's not, you don't have to sit cross-legged in a cave. Sure. So
That's so wonderful. And so if folks are interested in joining live rather than watching on Town Meeting TV, how can they do that?
there's the Zoom link, I believe, is on the CCTV website. Yes, and if it's not, we'll get it there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Andrea. It's a really great shout out for folks that, this is something that anybody can do. If there's something that you're doing in the community that, we aren't necessarily recording, get it in the archives. I mean, it's now, like you said, it's just a couple of buttons and then you send it our way, and now it's preserved for 4 more decades,
Yeah, I'm very grateful to have that out there, and so are the people who practice with me. If they miss a night, they can look at it on TV, and I'll be walking down the street, and a neighbor or someone on Church Street will say, "Hey, I saw you on CCTV." So yeah, that's really great. So a shout out to you too for all that you do.
Thank you so much. And before you go, I want to give you this little award. Thank you so much for being a community champion and supporting your local media station. We really appreciate you.
All right, well, this means a lot to me. Thank you, Emily.
And thank you for chatting with us, and enjoy the rest of the party.
All right, thank you.
Take care. I would just that was such a cool reminder. I believe it's cctv.org/send your videos. You can find it on our website as well. If you have anything that you're doing in the community that you want us to share, go right on there and submit it. Come on over. We got Ed and Jean. What a pair we've got here.
Yeah, we had a chance to play the other day here.
Yes. Well, thank you both. Thank you both for joining me. So, am I correct in understanding that? Well, you obviously knew of each other before coming in to the marketing workshop. But was that the first time that you guys had met? Oh, no.
At the city council meetings, if you are a public commentator or commenter, you get 2 minutes. Yeah. And I've commented pretty frequently. Yeah. And before I even met Gene, he was really, when you look out at a group of people, you can tell who is listening, who is really listening. And I would always glance at Gene for reassurance, because I was certain that he was listening to every word I said, and that every word meant something to him. Yeah, that's really true.
Well, I appreciate that. And, Ed is speaking really sensible stuff, hard stuff. And so if you're not paying attention, it's not good. So,
Well, I forgot to introduce you both. Ed Baker, Gene Bergman. Ed Baker's the host of Addiction Recovery Channel on Town Meeting TV. Gene Bergman is the host of Burlington Progressives. And as Gene mentioned, you were both in the other night for a program of Burlington Progressives.
It was a great time. It was really
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I had Ed and Bella Fern, who works in harm reduction, and we talked about the opioid crisis. We talked about drugs and recovery and harm reduction, the overdose prevention center, and it was great. I just sort of get to sit back and let these experts talk to me about stuff, and it was just wonderful. And my job really in that is to just let them bring it all out and then try to put some context, and I think we did that.
We did. I got to sit back and learn a lot about interviewing on a talk show, which was really good. You're a good interviewer, and it's important. It's absolutely crucial that we get accurate information out to the general public, the listening audience, and that the information come to them packaged in love, compassion, empathy. We have lots of words for it, but we all know what it is. And we have to get this information out, because people are now subject to fear and stigma, prejudice. There's a lot of backlash. There's a lot of really knee-jerk reaction to what basically is an unparalleled public health emergency, namely the opioid crisis. People like Gene and the City Council here in our lovely city, Burlington, Vermont, I'm very proud of them. They've endorsed the Overdose Prevention Center, which will soon be open right here, the third one in America. They've endorsed it at least 3 times. This is like a progressive kind of position, really valuing the way human health and human life, the way it should be valued. We need to do things differently in America, and if we don't, we're going to continue to lose 90,000 people a year.
And spend $1 gazillion. And have all of the issues that, you know, people have complained. I think there's a lot of validity to the complaints on Church Street. And, you know, the fear and the danger and the uncomfort is all, it doesn't go away when you kick it down down into another place, right? It's like the balloon. You're squeezing the balloon. It just pops somewhere else. And you really can't get away from it. The other thing that was really nice was both Bella and Ed being able to talk about the human face of people, because, you know, we've got a whole current in this country that basically doesn't see the inherent worth and dignity of individuals, right? And so we had a chance to sort of uplift people, that what we're dealing with real human beings, people in our community, even folks that, you know, like part of our family. And it can be really difficult, and we've got to figure out how to deal with it, and sometimes we don't do it all right. But that conversation was that is what I'm doing my show here, what that allows me to be able to do. So I'm so grateful to be able to do this. We've had some amazing people on a variety of different issues, and this is one that's very, very current.
Well, I'm so glad that you find value from it. I mean, the Addiction Recovery Channel, Burlington Progresses. I mean, you're talking about stuff that it's so pertinent and so important. And as you say, the Overdose Prevention Center is, you know, it's moving right along. Is there any any info sessions, upcoming events, anything that you know of that you would encourage folks to?
My head, but there is. You can go to. Trying to think through where it is. It's on the city's website and also on Bella's. If I had my cheat sheet in my back pocket, I would whip it out and I'd say, oh, here, this is where you can go. But there is a website with the engagement process, and they're doing surveys, they're doing meetings, they're doing individual meetings with people both in the community, but also variety of folks who are affected and connected to the issue. So, and we're going to be doing that for a bit, because, you know, that's part of the thing that we need to do. So, yeah. There's also Bella. Yeah. It's Vermont Harm Reduction Advocates. So Vermont Harm Reduction Advocates. If you Google that, you'll get to that website, and there's a lot of Q&A stuff and references to different research and data about overdose prevention centers. It's very comprehensive. But one of my favorite sites, and it's easy to remember, is opcinfo.org. opcinfo.org. You're around here, Ed.
It's a very user-friendly, very comprehensive, fun to go to, opcinfo.org. But let me just say that Gene was, talking about some of the very real problems that we face in Burlington, and we do, and they are very real, and they are, the result of, like, the way we've structured our culture, the way we've structured our society. So we as a culture have like a deep obligation, a moral imperative to face it and do something about it, not sweep it under the rug. We have to face it. We have to do something about it. And what we have to do about it is love. Help without love is not help. Okay, so that's what this is about. And it's funny kind of to talk about love, but, why is that? Why can't that? What's really funny is that we can't talk about love. These are our children. This is us. I was one of them. I lived on the street. I injected drugs on the street. And people got around me and helped me over a long period of time, and it wasn't easy. And finally, you know what? I felt unconditional safety, and I began to become curious about getting better. And I did. And everyone can do that if they're met the right way. And it really is with unconditional safety and love. We're a punitive breed, and people don't respond to that. You may get them and incarcerate them, but that's not response. They don't respond to punitive thinking. And this is about love.
It's completely 100% true, and I would encourage folks to go on to cctv.org or Town Meeting TV's YouTube channel and look up the Addiction Recovery Channel and look up Burlington Progressives, and particularly the show that Jean just featured Ed and Bella on. And before you two go, I can't think of anyone better to give these Community Champion Awards to.
Well, you know,
thank you.
we fought a really long time. It was a really hard fight to win the money to have CCTV, right? Community access, you do not get this. And you guys cover, all the entire region, right? And people get a chance to see their communities reflected to them. They get to see their elected officials. They get to see the events at the library and all of that stuff. And you're not going to get that in a media culture that is dominated by Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and the rest of those billionaires, right? Who just are trying to monetize everything, monetize it and vacuum it up for themselves. So, I want to thank you for being here, for making the coverage, to allow me to be able to click on my television and see people, and to decide whether I'm going to watch it or not, but then to see it also like on the YouTube channel, it's so important, and I don't know if it's happening everywhere in the country, but it is part of what makes this place, this little part of the world, really special. So I want to thank you.
Jean, thank you so much for your kind words. And I will just say, Vermont's network of community media centers is unlike anywhere else in the country. We are so incredibly lucky, and we're so incredibly lucky to have the support of folks like you to keep this going. And so thank you both for all your hard work.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
thanks.
And ditto to what he said.
Take care, both of you. Good to see you. Enjoy the rest of the party.
Thank you.
Another shout out to Ed and Jean, incredible community producers, incredible human beings, and you can check out their shows, Addiction Recovery Channel and Burlington Progressives on cctv.org. Okay, moving right along. Come on over here, Briar. I am joined by Briar. What's your last name, Briar?
Gagne, Briar Gagne.
Briar Gagne, who is one of our current interns here at CCTV. Started more as like a kind of volunteer situation, but then as time has gone on, you've really dived deep into the tech world. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the projects you've been working on here?
Yeah. So I've been working with CCTV. Set up their servers, set up do a lot of troubleshooting stuff. I'm mostly here to gain tech experience and what it's gonna be like working in IT in a changing field, and I haven't gotten that much experience with I'm actually a professional writing major, which is a crazy coincidence. It's like a crazy string of events that led me to even be here in the first place. So I know Champlain has a good networking thing where they bring in people all the time.
Yeah.
And that just kind of I said, screw it, let's check it.
Yeah, that's how we met. What class was that? Law, communication.
Communication with Barry.
What's the? Why is it like escaping me right now? It's like, yes, legal issues and communication. That's the one. I should know that because I took the same class. But so Barry was your professor for that class, and Barry actually used to work here in the position that I have now, and so that's been a really amazing connection. I've gone in to speak with several of our classes for a couple years now, and it's led to. We hired a field producer that I met in that class, other interns, and so that was really great. I mean, you were really engaged with the conversation, and then I'm so glad that you decided to be like, hey, do you guys have any volunteer opportunities? And I think it's been really great that you've decided to work on tech stuff here. You're a professional writing major, but you're keeping your options open and getting experience in what interests you, so I think that's awesome.
Yeah, no.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your capstone idea, the project that you're working on for capstone?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, definitely what you said with the writing major, like I have a lot of skill sets and I have a lot of interest in a lot of different skill sets. I mean, I've been researching into tech, and it's been, I think the more you research into something, the more interested you can get in it, definitely. And that's definitely true with tech for me. And I also believe that with tech, though, is a responsible use of tech is very important, and not a lot of people get that part. These big companies, and we need to sort of like, how is technology affecting the earth? How is it like climate change is a very real problem, and we need to be looking at how we can kind of make changes in the industry to allow tech to continue to the future. I definitely think that tech can solve any problem, and we should be hopeful. And I think we need to sort of have so my podcast idea, my capstone idea, is a podcast about like looking into these things. How can we use tech to make the environment like more stable, more secure for people, rather than just kind of being completely indifferent to it.
That's amazing. And so what are you thinking about having like different folks on to talk about these topics?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to just get like a Western perspective on this, Yeah. I want to get a global perspective if I can, and like try and bring in because I think in America often we're like, okay, we're kind of self-centered, for lack of a better word, with this stuff. So we need like multiple perspectives on this to really like bring in okay, especially with like the internet is so interconnected, it's not just like one person's researching this stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really glad that you found your way here to CCTV, and I feel like at least in the 4 years I've been working here, we've never had a tech intern. So it's incredible that you've been able to gain some experiences here with us, and I look forward to seeing how the podcast comes along.
And like I said, I'm grateful for CCTV for giving me the opportunity to kind of be surrounded by people who know about like technology and like the production that I'm gonna need to even be able to make this project reality. So
that's awesome. Well, I'm so glad that we could provide this opportunity for you, and we love having you here. So I'm very thankful. Cool. Well, thanks for chatting with me, Briar. Enjoy the rest of the party. I'm glad you could make it. Briar is wonderful, and that is just one example of, I believe, we've worked with 65 youth intern and volunteers this year, which is like an incredible number. I mean, that includes classes coming in, but it is, I mentioned this to Paul. I mean, it is one of the highlights of my day, just being like, who's going to come through the door next? And when it's a young person trying to learn media literacy, media production skills, whatever in the community media world, it's really incredible. So I'm really thankful for CCTV to offer those opportunities, considering I also started here as an intern. So I'm doubly thankful. All right, it looks like we're going to interview Charlie next. Come on over. Charlie, you're an old hat when it comes to interviews at the winter party, isn't that right?
I'll tell you, the only person in the world I would do this for is for you. So I'm not usually on this side of the camera, so.
Well, we appreciate you. I appreciate you. And it's one of those things that's like every once in a while, either Chris or myself will find footage of you from like 20 years ago, and we'll be like, oh my God, that's Charlie. So I like when we get to get you in the archives. So thank you for chatting with me.
Well, actually, because Megan O'Rourke is here and Chris Statz is here.
Yep.
And so the first time I ever borrowed equipment, which I've said on this spot before, is that it was either the 1988 or the 1991 student takeover of the Waterman building at the University of Vermont.
Yep.
And so the story I always end up telling is that, so I got all this footage for like a week, a few minutes here, a few minutes there. There was a lot of singing and a lot of affinity groups and all that kind of stuff. And then, but when the takeover of the building finally ended, there was going to be a big press conference in the university's president's office. So we're all in Waterman, all the news media is there. So the security people are letting WCAX, WPTZ, they're all going to the room, and then I'm the last person, and I have the same big, huge camera, because they used to be this big, And so the security guys looked at me and go, all right, you can go too, because they knew I was one of the demonstrators. Sure. And so they were like, all right, you can go in too. So I'm the last guy in the room, and I set my equipment up. And you have to remember, this is CCTV, Channel 17, and we didn't have the best equipment in the world. So we're all set up, and so this was VHS tapes at the time, and the camera I was using, it wouldn't load the VHS tape.
Yeah.
So I never got anything out of that press conference. But I got all kinds of stuff that week, but when it came to the final press conference, it just wouldn't go in, and I kept going like this for like 10 minutes, and then I just gave up. It wouldn't load the tape.
So that wasn't when the device was like separate and on the hip, was it? It was like it was one big thing.
Like 30 inches long.
And like how much did it weigh?
They were pretty heavy, yeah.
Really? Yeah.
But they had a nice little groove for your shoulder.
Sure.
But
that is such a bummer. I mean, I feel like that still happens sometimes these days. Somebody will take an SD card and then like it doesn't work. Like, I mean, it's just gotta love technology. It doesn't matter what decade it is. So is that how you met Megan?
Well, see, Megan and I and all the other folks like Chris Statz and Brian Perkins and there are just so many people at the time. And so we were all politically active starting in about 1987. That's when people were first getting, like, there was a political party that started on campus to run for the student organization, for instance. That was a really early thing that the political activists on campus did at that time. And so we were all politically active. They were even doing strange things like naked parties, there were several of those. And like the first one I went to, I see all these people I knew and I go, look, I'm a Catholic. I don't do this sort of thing, It's like,
oh my God.
But anyway, that was just
amazing.
something that just gives you an idea of the type of people who we're talking about here.
Sure.
But so I wasn't really in the first tier of the political activists. Usually people of color were actually the ones, because that's what the whole theme was about those takeovers. Right. And so they were actually in the first level of the demonstrators. But I was always there. Like, we used my van. I used my van to load the Cynic newspaper.
Oh, wow.
So we would use my van to do different things, like transport people on weekends down to like Brown University or Boston University or whatever, to go to like student organizing things. And so another funny story is that for one of the takeovers, I can't even remember, it was 88 or 91. Yeah. So they wanted to barricade themselves into the president's wing, okay? And so I said, well, I got a whole bunch of lumber down in my basement. So we just loaded a whole bunch of mostly 2x4s into the back of the van, and I backed up to Waterman like I always do to unload newspapers. Sure. And so all of a sudden at like 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, all these students are going back, everybody's moving back in and out of Waterman, and all of a sudden you saw like 15 students unloading lumber out of a van, and that was really the beginning of that takeover. Wow. And so because they were going to barricade themselves into the wing. And so, but just to show you the quality of the students, their level of experience, they didn't know how to use a hammer and nail.
Oh, wow.
Because they're all from like New Jersey and New York City, so they had never used a hammer and nail before. So I'm trying to show them a little bit how to do, because I wasn't really supposed to be there, because only people of color were actually supposed to be there. You see? And so I was showing them how to do it, but then when they made a mistake, they didn't know how to get the nail back out. So it was kind of amusing, actually.
That is incredible.
So it was just kind of funny the way, these very inexperienced students were trying to do a lofty goal, but see, they didn't really have some of the skills they needed.
It's quite the disconnect, yeah. I am curious. I could listen to you talk about these old stories all day, but you're one of our field producers that are like, you're constantly on the ground. You're filming sometimes 5 events in one day, running around, particularly like the No Kings Day protests. You're going from Burlington to Winooski to Williston, South Burlington. What is an event that you filmed this year that really sticks out to you?
The ones that I'm most attached to are like the No Kings, whatever the demonstrations were where people were lining the streets, because they just want to be acknowledged.
Right.
So like a lot of times I would on that day, I would go from like Burlington to Shelburne to Essex. And so one of those times I got to Essex 5 Corners last. And people were already leaving because it was already breaking down. And so many people that I got there, even though they weren't talking to me, they said, it's about time the media got here, because the media didn't cover them. And so
It wasn't Burlington.
finally I got there like late, after people were starting to leave. And the people were they just want to be acknowledged that they're stepping out, they're making a sign, they're attending an event, whether it's rain or shine, and they just want to feel like they're being acknowledged. And so that was good for me to see that. And so that's why I spend all that time going up and down the line, showing people with the camera, like, who are you? Well, not necessarily. I would just say, what town are you from? What town are you from? What town are you from? And people were very, very proud to say they were from places like Moncton and Charlotte, even though they were at an Essex or a Burlington rally. And so I know it was important for them to be there. And I just really enjoyed recording that. So.
Well, we really appreciate you. You're one of our guys where it's like something's going on last minute. Charlie, can you record it? Almost 99.99% of the time, you're like, "Yep, I'll be there." And it's so important to acknowledge those people, capture them, and keep it in our archives. And I just have to say, to end this interview, the amount of people that when I am reviewing footage for clipping on marketing and for marketing social media purposes that I can hear in the background, "Hey Charlie, oh that's Charlie from Channel 17," or "Hey, how's it going, Charlie?" Like it's staggering. So you have made a mark in our communities, and we are really grateful to have you as a part of the CCTV and Town Meeting TV team. And so before you go, you truly are a community champion, and we really appreciate you, Charlie.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming in front of the camera and chatting with me. I appreciate it.
Okay. We'll do this again before the year is out.
Yes, we will. Take care, Charlie. Thank you. All right. I think the next person I'm going to interview is Dr. Myers. Come on over. How's it going?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us. You were just here yesterday in the studio for quite the marathon. Tell us a little bit about your show, Meet the Author, how it came about, and what it entails.
Sure. Meet the Author is a show where generally about once a month I interview authors. Most of them have been by Zoom because they're in other states. We've had one in person. I happen to love to read, and this is a great opportunity for me to meet some of these incredible authors and to share them with the audience here in Vermont and elsewhere.
And so yesterday you actually came in and you had, I think it was 3 different interviews. If I'm correct, one of them was with your wife, and you actually interviewed a very young person who had made a book. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Lucy Brocious lives in the area. She's at Campbell's Hump Middle School, I guess. She's only 11. She wrote this wonderful book called Birdwatching for Children. I think it's the title. She and her grandfather put this together, and it's really beautifully done. And I don't know that much about birds, so I learned a lot reading it, and I was able to really recommend it to viewers.
And so, what has the process been like in terms of getting people to join you on your show? I think particularly because it's mostly people that aren't local.
Well, sometimes it takes a little bit of work. We have had some rather prominent people this year, nationally known figures, and some of them I go through their agents or their book publishers. Others, sometimes they have an email. Nicholas Kristof, who's a Pulitzer Prize-winning New York Times columnist, has an email online. So he responded right back to me. It was extraordinarily gracious. But yeah, it is remarkable. Many of them may not have heard of this station, but they're willing to share their time and talk about their books and some of the issues the books bring up.
That's wonderful. And I mean, you've certainly made your mark in the local community with your show. You were actually featured in a 7 Days article about your program. How did you find out about that? What did you feel when you heard about it?
Well, that was written by Ken Picard, who's been with 7 Days for 20 years. He's a terrific reporter. We had a good discussion, and he was interested in the program, and I just felt like getting it out there on 7 Days reaches a wider audience here in Vermont to be able to see the show.
And I know you just recorded 4 programs, but do you have anything in the works that you're excited about that you can tell us?
Our next show in January 5th, we're taping, is with a fellow named James McGuire, who's written a wonderful biography of Ed Sullivan, and really explored the way Ed Sullivan, not only his life, but the impact he made on American culture and society.
Wonderful. Well, Dr. Myers, we're really pleased to have you here and a part of our community. And
I am so grateful to CCTV. It is so welcoming here. Very few stations you can walk in and say, "Hey, I've got an idea for a show. Can we give this a try?" Previously, I had done a show for a year here on healthcare, and it was the same sort of situation where you guys were so open to trying something and giving me a slot. So I greatly appreciate it.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I mean, I want to give you this little award for being a community champion and for supporting us. And it's one of my favorite parts of the day is seeing who's going to walk through the door and just the wide variety of programs. And I'm so glad that you started with one and then came up with an idea for another, and you're like, let's do it. And I'm glad that we were able to do it for you.
Always nice to see you when we walk in the door. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Myers. Take care. All right. We are going to keep moving around. It's so nice to hear the just wonderful words from all of our community producers and community members that, I might briefly be able to chat with some of them as they come through, but then to I don't always get to have as long of a conversation with them as I would like. So this is a good opportunity. We're moving right along here. We've got Brian Chena. State rep, correct? Amongst other things. You are a busy person. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the work that you've been doing lately? It's not legislative session right now, but it's about to be. It's about to be. So tell us a little bit about what you expect coming up in the next couple of months.
Well, I am a clinical social worker.
Yes.
And so I've been seeing clients at my private practice as well as at the Howard Center through First Call, the crisis team. And I'm also a mutual aid volunteer with the People's Kitchen. And so I've been mostly engaged in that work over the last few months, really seeing on the ground sort of the suffering out there and the impact of many years of disasters that have compounded, like the COVID-19 ecological disasters, what I'm calling the polysubstance pandemic, which is the opioid epidemic combined with psychostimulants now that we see in Vermont, like crack and methamphetamines, as well as economic crises, the impact of federal cuts and changes to policy. And people are facing an unprecedented amount of problems and are really suffering and struggling. And so it's been a sad year. I think more people have died this year than any year that I've known, mostly from overdoses. So it's rough out there for a lot of people right now. But in the face of that, I do have a lot of hope. I've had the opportunity to make connections and relationships in which I've seen people achieve recovery. And I've seen in the face of violence, neighbors come together and help each other out in a way and in a scale that I haven't seen before. And I believe that that is just going to grow. And so I'm hopeful in the next year that people will come together in the face of great challenges and come up with solutions. And in the spirit of that, like as a legislator, it connects because I was a 2025 opioid policy fellow with the National Conference of State Legislatures. And so I've spent the last year studying the strengths of Vermont's system, which is, I can come closer if you want. Hurts. Yeah. I know. I noticed it looked like, and I can hold it if you want.
Sure.
You can coach me. Yeah, you can coach me.
Perfect.
Never give a politician a microphone.
I'll never get it back. So tell us a little bit about that program.
Yeah, so Vermont is considered one of the the leading states. Our hub and spoke model, our recovery centers, we have a lot of great strengths. Then other states are doing better in other areas. So I studied sort of the scope of the problem, like on planet Earth in every country. Addiction is at an all-time high, not just with psychostimulants and opioids, but with alcoholism. And with the legalization of cannabis, we're seeing increased problems with cannabis use. And of course, we have nicotine, which is socially acceptable, but one of the most addictive, deadliest substances. And so people are suffering from addiction more than ever, and it makes sense because disconnection and social conditions drive addiction. Yeah. It's not about the person or their morality, and I think most of us understand that, but for those who don't, I urge them to just be open to that it's not that people choose to suffer, it's that they're driven to it by many different conditions. So in the face of that, there are some practices I think Vermont can implement that would help. A quick summary of those ideas, I've been looking at novel treatments. So one is called contingency management. It's using motivational incentives or rewards, like financial rewards, and it works. And Vermont has some pilot projects, and the state is looking at using the opioid settlement fund to expand that work in the next year. So I'm encouraging that because it's a better spending to pay someone to stay clean than to punish them. And then we all spend money on punishment that doesn't yield good results. And so organizations like Pathways Vermont and Vermonters for Criminal Justice Reform and our treatment courts have been using this, and we're going to be expanding it. And that's a recommendation one of my recommendations is that we go even further in that direction. Another novel treatment is called neurofeedback, and I'm still learning about this one, but essentially we train people using technology to create desired mental states and brainwave ratios, and that this treatment has been shown to be effective in treating criminogenic behavior. So when people are incarcerated, using this technology to help them learn to regulate their mental and emotional states reduces impulsivity and reduces emotional dysregulation, which then reduces criminal behavior. And then last but not least is psychedelic-assisted treatment. That many academic institutions have been doing research since 2010, like Johns Hopkins and Stanford and others, proving that various psychedelic treatments that have been used in indigenous cultures since time immemorial are actually scientifically proven to work. And these include psilocybin mushrooms, DMT through ayahuasca, peyote or mescaline, and something called iboga or ibogaine. And that's the one I would like to highlight because I've been suffering personally from trauma symptoms as a healthcare worker. I've had lifelong depression and anxiety. I've had my own issues with addiction, especially nicotine, and struggling with it. And I recently had the opportunity to do an ibogaine treatment, and it essentially cured everything. Wow. And so for the first time in like 30 years, I have very little pain. And so there's a documentary called In Waves and War on Netflix about veterans who had traumatic brain injuries, and it worked miracles for them. I met a Vermonter recently who's going to be coming out publicly about his battle with a tumor in his brain and how it's helping his brain regrow. This treatment, ibogaine, is going to revolutionize healthcare, and 13 states have come together to create an interstate research compact led by Texas to use their opioid settlement funds to research and develop it so it can be a public good and not patented by pharmaceutical companies. So I would like Vermont to be the 14th state. And so you'll hear more about that. And then one other thing in terms of the opioid policy fellowship is a redevelopment. I'm proposing a redevelopment around the courthouse in Burlington. I was looking to see if anyone's waiting online, but they're not yet. So I'll say a little more. It's a redevelopment that would build what I'm calling a justice and recovery hub. It would be a detention dormitory so that we can move detainees in our justice system out of prisons. Because right now, if you get detained and arrested, you go to prison whether you're guilty or not.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, until you go to court. So it's like a county jail, but better, because instead of being a jail, it's a dormitory. And based on your risk, you can come and go. You can go to work still. You can go check on your home. Your family can see you. And then it can be a reentry facility for people coming out of incarceration. And if we redevelop the land around the Costello Courthouse as part of all the redevelopment downtown, the state would be chipping in its share. We could have 200 beds there, which would allow us to move more than half of the women's facility in there, and the other women could be put into secure recovery residences around the county, like smaller units around the county along the bus lines. Yep. And then we could build recovery housing along the bus lines. We could build treatment facilities along the bus lines, similar to our hub and spoke model with primary care and clinics. Sure. So it would be a hub and spoke model for justice. And then as part of that, the latest numbers I've in my design, there'd be up to 80 to 100 beds of community-based housing as well. Wow. So this is for like mothers coming out of jail, or kids transitioning out of DCF who currently end up homeless, could live somewhere and save up money to get an apartment or buy a home or get a car. It would also create 10 storefronts, and it would create the tallest building in Vermont, which would be called the Recovery Tower, and at the top would be an observation deck. So Vermonters could go for free, but out-of-state people could pay a small fee, and that would help subsidize the development. If we did this, and we could potentially move all of our out-of-state prisoners home, recapture that 40-something million every few years, and if we combine that with some other strategic reinvestment, we could potentially use this as a pilot project to then try similar models around the state, creating hubs and spokes of recovery. Right. And so that's part of my recommendation as well.
Well, we look forward to hearing more as this, as you bring this to the legislature in the coming months. And before you go, I'm just curious if there are people out there that are wanting to get more involved in their community, helping their neighbors, whether that's through People's Kitchen or any other means, where's a good place for them to start?
Well, I would say that we have many mutual aid groups in Chittenden County, the People's Kitchen, Food Not Cops, Old North End Mutual Aid. You could you can Google these groups. There's Instagram accounts, and you can get involved. There's also many service providers in need of volunteers, like the Howard Center, Pathways Vermont, the Champlain Valley Office of Economic Opportunity. So we have a lot of great service organizations where you can help. Our churches are stepping up and helping out. So if you're involved in a faith community, you can find out what your church is doing. Those are three areas where I think. Oh, and then there's advocacy groups like Free Her Vermont, for example, or the Worker Center. These are some other great community resources doing organizing and advocacy if you want to get more involved. But honestly, even if you're not involved in an organization, it can be as simple as being kind to someone, sharing your extra food with someone, listening to someone, smiling at someone who looks sad. These little acts of kindness go a long way.
Brian, thank you so much, and thank you for all your hard work, and we really appreciate your support of the community, but also your support of local media. So,
and I do want to say that it's important that we support our local media, that it's at the bedrock of our democracy is institutions like this one, and I'm so grateful to have this organization in my neighborhood, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you for being here. Happy holidays. Take care. All right, it looks like we've got Megan coming on. Megan Humphrey. Hi, how are you? It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. So why don't you, I guess I don't even really, I probably knew this at one point in time, but how did you get involved with CCTV?
I don't even remember. I've been supporting it and watching it forever, and then I worked here for a little while.
Okay.
Megan O'Rourke and I, it was the two Megans, we sort of split a job for a little while there, so I was helping with some marketing, some things like that.
I did not know that. When was that?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I don't know. Probably, 20 years ago or something like that, a while ago.
That is so cool, and you are such an amazing supporter of CCTV and local media, and I always love seeing you at a party because I know I'm going to get a bunch of pictures when I'm stuck on here doing the interviews. I'm like, yes, somebody's taking pictures for me. So, is there anything that you are looking forward to in 2026 in terms of that you'd like to see CCTV either start as a project or make sure that we cover, something along those lines?
In general, I would just say that what you're doing now is already vitally important, and I feel like it's more important than ever. We are desperately in need of great quality media coverage that I don't think we're getting in this country, and we're so lucky that all of the 3 public media channels are around here and cover so many great topics, events that are happening, politics, educational things. It's vitally important right now. So I don't see any of that needing to change. I think we just have to keep doing that. And I'm glad that there are people here and on the staff and volunteers that make it happen, because it wouldn't happen otherwise. And to just keep the legacy of that going is very important. Very important.
It's so true, and I think we're also just incredibly lucky to have such a strong community in general. Like, I mean, I love that we are located in the Old North End. I mean, it is like this summer we had the 24-hour telethon during the Old North End Ramble, and it was just so beautiful to see all these different community members come in and share in the joy of community media.
Yeah, and I was just going to say it's great that it's in such a diverse neighborhood. I mean, except for Winooski, we're probably the next most diverse in the state. 100%. And so it's really nice that it's right here, located here, and it's very accessible physically to people like that too, which is
That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, super central location. That's why I like the Old North End too. Super walkable. Yes. Burlington in general, but we're in a really good spot, and we're so lucky to have such a diverse community of community producers that come through our doors and create programs. We have got the African Variety Show, Dr. Wetchy, who's actually on our board. He does his shows in all sorts of languages, and so I wish we would. That's one of my hopes for 2026. Like, get some more programming out there in different languages, and then also just like. I mentioned this a couple times, but we recorded 1,800 programs this last year, which is just. It's hard to even comprehend. So just
and then that's edited, and then it's presented and everything. It's remarkable, and that's what else I was thinking too. The diversity, the cross section of kinds of programming here is phenomenal, and that's really, really important, especially in such a diverse community. And also. As part of that, just having people feel included and loved and heard right now is so important when people are scared. We are all afraid of something right now, and so it's really nice that people can come in and talk about that and interact and connect with each other.
100%. I mean, I think a really great example of that is Ed Baker and Gene Bergman, who, they just did a joint interview because Gene had Ed on his show, and they were talking about, the overdose prevention center that is being built in Burlington, and just, the incredible work that they're doing. And then, it's just... Our doors are always open for everybody about anything that they want to talk about, and it can be people do express their fears, but then they express their hopes too, and I think that is a really important juxtaposition. So,
and one of a show I did this year was with David Hirschberg. Mm-hmm. And he's, his family had been here. They have a long, long history in this neighborhood, the Jewish neighborhood, where this building stands now. And that was so much fun. And we finished the show, and the lights went off, and we sat there and talked for another hour almost, because he's so interesting. And that's another thing about capturing the history of people who grew up here. Right. And have been around, and learning what Burlington used to be like we've got to collect that as well.
Yeah. So, and then that's why the archives are so important too. It's because now you've captured his voice, and it's going to live on. And then you look back and you see 40 years ago, similar conversations taking place, and that nobody's going to forget about him. And it was a local. He had a produce store.
Like a market.
Yeah.
And then they delivered food all over the place, and they were located at the waterfront.
I remember you coming into the studio and having that conversation, and it really is like that is like one of the coolest things is like I did a program the other day with Vermont Natural Resource Council on Act 181, and then the lights go off, and then we just continue sitting there, and it's just like I'm like the camera should still be rolling, but
That's another connection. That's what it comes down to.
Yep. Well, Megan, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me tonight, but also just for your wonderful support of CCTV and community media over the years. And we really appreciate you.
Thank you, because we appreciate you, this whole community. It's a big deal. So thank you very much.
Of course.
All right.
It's great to see you.
You too.
Take care. Okay. It's hard to believe that it has been an hour and like 15 minutes. Am I interviewing Travis now? Come on in, Travis.
Hello.
How are you?
It's weird being on this side every time. I'm still not used to it.
Do you want to interview me? Do we want to do a back and forth thing? See, the funny thing is we just had Miss Lydia in for a Kwanzaa special of Tea Talks, and she had an award for Travis, and you did not want to come out on camera. You did, but it's funny. I mean, Charlie. I was just chatting with Charlie. He's like, you're the only person that I would come on and do an interview with, because otherwise I would much rather be behind the camera.
Right. Well, that's true, largely because you're so friendly. I think it's hard to receive praise. 100%. And then also to do that on camera. Yeah. It's pretty difficult. And
Well, I was just going to say, that's what's been happening all night. I mean, people are saying all of these beautiful, wonderful things about community media, and it's just like, thank you so much, but also it's just like, how do I properly express my thank you without being awkward,
Right, and I also want to make it clear of like how much that means to me too, but like not, but also not seem fake about it, right. No, I genuinely care. It's just, it's hard to express that, all the time. And especially, I don't know, it's hard to be on camera in front of these lights for however many hours. Yeah. I know exactly how that goes.
Well, do you want to talk a little bit about maybe some of the education work you've done this year?
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a really long year, but we did a lot of really cool things, like PCOM, created an Instagram and a TikTok. We had several interns coming in making great content. We've added a lot of great stuff for our archives. So in 30 years, watch out, because they created some great things. And then we also have the neighborhood media interns who are going out being as curious as ever, and we're fostering that. And then we also had, we had 4 and 7-year-olds come into the studio this year, and they had a blast.
Was that with the Richard Kemp Center?
With the Richard Kemp Center, yeah, they had an absolute blast, and yes, I look forward to continuing that in the future. But it's been an exciting year. It's been a long year, ups and downs, but very busy.
Anything you're looking forward to in the upcoming year, like any new projects we might be trying to do or anything like that?
I'm honestly not sure. I'm very on a one-track mind. We have the election results show. After that, I was just like, I know the neighborhood media internship program is going to be doing a documentary on immigrant art and how that's shared through the community. But other than that, it's really, I'm trying to piece it out. I can't think farther than 3 months ahead right now. So
fair enough. I hear you. I mean, I do think it is one of those things where it's like, if you think that far ahead, you're just it's all gonna fall apart. I think one of the cool things that we've been working on is we're trying to revamp our graphics. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that process.
It's a process. It's gonna take a lot longer than we all anticipated, but that's okay. We're just trying to make it where it's at least entertaining to look at, while also still being our content, still being gavel to gavel. So yeah, I think that's going to be really exciting. So you should start seeing different things that are being used by our staff in the community, and I hope it'll also make a I hope that a lot of the field producers will just be like a little bit more excited instead of doing the same old, kind of switching it up every once in a while. Because, you know, sitting there for 6 hours at a meeting is a lot of mental power. So having something to at least keep your focus is a little nice.
Well, Travis, thank you so much, and it's been incredible to work with you on more closely this year on media education programs and projects. I think it was something like 250 students coming in, or just people in general visiting the studio for media education, and then 65 youth interns and volunteers coming into the studio. That is an incredible number for 1 year.
That was a lot, and I mean, a lot of classes, thankfully, there's a lot of classes that find value in coming here. But also, like, those connections come back in multiple different ways, especially with volunteers for election shows and so on. Like the telethon, we leaned heavily on our volunteers, and people have just come in one time for a class, and some even end up working here. So it's like, it's just one of those things. But thank you, Emily. Like, you know, I love working with you. So.
Well, it's been a joy, and I'll stop laying on the praise now, but thanks for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay, moving right along here. Come on over. Hi there. I don't think we've met. Can you introduce yourself really quickly?
My name is Pek Kiamani Van. I live in St. Albans, and I am a business owner catering for Southeast Asian food, and also I am licensed in financial services.
Okay. Well, I'm Emily. Very nice to meet you. Tell us a little bit about how you are connected to CCTV.
Yes, I worked for the city of Burlington for about 10 years, and the first 6 years I worked at the Community and Economic Development Office. I was a community engagement manager and staffed the NPA, so I was responsible for making sure the NPAs had filming.
Wonderful. And how did you find that experience to be? Did you stay during the NPAs, and how did that resonate with you in terms of like seeing the community come together? Because the NPAs, I mean, those are more community led than any other kind of municipal meeting that we see and record with Town Meeting TV. So tell us a little bit about the NPAs.
I loved it. I got my master's in public administration, so that's the job that I wanted, was to work in city government. And it's just amazing in just the civic engagement in Burlington, and working with the committee members of all different wards was just great to see the culture across our city. And then in addition to like being able to work as an organizer to make sure these meetings happen, along with the steering committee members, with interns, and also just having volunteers come and film, and like the presentations from the city to the organizations. And I learned so much. I loved it.
It sounds like it. Tell me a little bit about what community or community media means to you.
It means everything, because I think that being able to have a community media which like it's on the ground and looking at the stories and not sensationalizing it, talking to the real people, it's really authentic, and it's something that we need to continue to preserve.
Well, thank you. I mean, thank you so much for being involved in, any role like that. Is just, I feel like it is often like overlooked and underthanked, but it is very hard work, and that type of public organizing is so incredibly important. I think Burlington is like very special when it comes to people being able to be involved at such a deep level with their community. So, and thank you for coming to the party and being involved with CCTV, because you're not in that role anymore now.
I'm not. I have since left the city, and I started my own business. I own a catering business. It's Southeast Asian food.
What's it called?
It's called Moo Noi Market, and Moo Noi is Little Pig. It's in Laos, and it's named after my dog.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and so that it's been amazing starting a new business. I worked in like 5 different farmers markets, so I'm still like very much community-led, community-based, and source all of my foods like locally as much as I can. I can't source like coconut, you know. Right. And I also got licensed in financial services, so I'm just really excited to start this new businesses and yeah, and especially with the financial services, still doing community events. I actually did a community events with Senator Keisha Ram, Hillsden, and Channel 17 covered it. So if people want to know about it, then they can look up Secure Your Future.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us, and congratulations. I mean, that is no small feat, starting your own business and getting certified in, what did you say it was again?
Financial services.
Financial services at the same time. I mean, incredible. And I love the name. What is your dog called? Little Pig, or?
Little Pig, yeah, Moonoi. I don't know if the camera can see, but I can show up my card.
Oh, stop.
So this is.
Oh, so cute. Love it. Well, thanks for coming and stopping by, and I hope that you'll continue to stay involved with the community, even though you're up in St. Albans. So yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Take care. All right, I've been told to wrap, but I think Miles, Alex, both, 1, 2, 3, technically. Okay, come on over.
All right, we're
Okay,
sharing time with you.
this is a good crew to end the holiday party show with. Thank you both for coming. Yeah. What?
One more.
Oh.
We're not.
You know, when I see this, I'm like, oh, it's done. But okay, I see what's happening here. Oh, I love this. Very festive. You're both very festive tonight. Thanks for being here. I would love maybe if you talked a little bit about your upcoming project and event that you have. When is that going to be? Is it first night based? Is it? Tell us a little bit about it.
So New Year's Eve from 12 to 5 p.m. at the One Center on the Old North End. We are having a community event to build a community quilt. But we're not only going to be inviting people to quilt, there will be music, there will be food, there will be dancing, there will be quilting. You don't have to have experience. We will have all the materials there for you, and we'll have community menders who are coming together who will help you put together your square. There will also be a storytelling booth and photos with the hope that we're just like weaving together community stories, both literally and figuratively.
Miles came in the other day and told me about it, and I was just like, that is so perfect. And I'm so like, it's first ever of the event, and so I would love if it became like an annual thing, because like what a cool way to, as you just said, like literally weaving community together. Like that is so fitting. Maybe I guess if you want to tell us a little bit more about, we've talked with you. I mean, I feel like for the last however many
5 years.
Winter celebrations about Burlington This Is You and your documentary project on CCTV. Where are we at with that? How has the process been going? Anything you want to say about that?
Sure. So we're in year 5. We're supposed to be done by now. But we're not. We're definitely not done. So we'll probably take, hopefully have a rough cut, let's this spring, invite people to watch, continue to ask people, and invite people in to say, like, is this doing a good job? How else can we include people? And it's amazing just, like, walking in the door tonight, see Ed Baker, long-running show there, and it's like, of course we got to talk to Ed, and then Bruce Wilson, and then you got to talk to Bruce, and then Dan Higgins is here, and then, and then you just look around the room, and obviously it's like Kevin's working the booth. Hey, Kevin, I see you over there. I got away from Kevin. Jordan running around on cameras. You just steadfast here interviewing people. I don't know how you do it, but I see you showing up. So, yeah. So the progress update on the documentary is that the work continues. We'll do our best to start to get something out there, but we also see this as the not a one-off, and staying involved. And then the other hope is there's so much storytelling to do in the archive that maybe we can start to like bring in local talent, more people, have people direct, other types of storytelling. So like, somebody has an interest in a certain theme, show, maybe they could do some long form storytelling about that. And so we can continue to put out work about the work that's being done. So on top of the work, putting out work about the work.
Well, I mean, you guys are like, not only are you doing this documentary, but then you did a solar eclipse project. You're doing this quilting project. Like, you guys don't stop. I don't know how you do it.
But this is also like part of the thing. So like the mending wall is going to be interesting because we're going to do community interviews, and then we want to feed those interviews back into the archive. The eclipse is another example of like documenting an event that was happening, but then able to come here, use the studio, talk about the show. Also, all of that material hopefully makes its way into the archive. So we see this. We've been highly influenced by the mission of, if you can do this type of documentation and create for public good. I see myself being directly influenced by this place and how we approach work.
We didn't have enough projects going on, creative projects, so we thought we'd have a kid while we're at it. Just another creative project.
Well, I was gonna say, like, what are you most excited about 2026? And that's probably up there, right?
Yeah, it's probably pretty close. Yeah, who knows? We're open to the ride.
Train them as a community media maker, just so
You'll have another person to hold a camera, right?
Let's hope they like it.
The running joke is that the kid is going to hate cameras for sure. So we got to figure that out. We got to tread lightly.
Well, you guys are something else. We are so incredibly grateful that you have, joined the CCTV family, and for all of your hard work, not only on this documentary, but just, in improving community and bringing people together. And I'm so glad that that you have connected so deeply with the mission. So thank you both. Happy holidays. Congratulations. And they're going to be in the archives as soon as possible.
Yeah, no doubt. This is right. Yes. So thank you, Emily. I see you up here interviewing people. You do a great job. So thanks so much for all that you do as well.
Thank you. It's nice to hear, and it's funny because I think we started this at 4:30. It's 6 o'clock now. I have no. The only reason I can tell it it's 6 o'clock, other than looking at the clock, is my feet are killing me. So
Let's do one more. We don't need to take up any more
Happy
steps.
holidays. Thank you both. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Come on over. Hi there. I don't think we've met.
I'm Steve, sorry.
I'm Emily. Sorry, my hands are sweaty.
Yeah, me too.
Steve, introduce yourself for me and how you're connected to CCTV.
Oh, good question. I don't really know too much about CCTV. I do know a little bit.
Yep.
I know you guys like archive footage, kind of like giving like media back to the people, right?
Sure, yeah.
So
how did you find out about us and why are you here tonight?
Yeah, good question. So I run a newsletter. It's called the B-Town Brief.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're familiar?
I am familiar. Yeah, I think I've messaged you on Instagram before once.
Yeah, so, like,
dude, thanks for being here tonight. Tell us a little bit about that.
Bad on camera, probably. It's probably terrible. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't get back. But I saw there was an event today, right? I put it in the newsletter, and I was like, well, I have a free afternoon, so I might as well show up. And there's some cool people here. So
Amazing. I mean, this is a really cool opportunity. We have a couple of different parties throughout the year, always open to the public. I mean, that's the funny thing about, holiday parties are usually like for staff, whatever. Nope, our holiday parties for everybody. We want everybody in the community to be here. But, it's a really nice space here. I mean, I think even getting the opportunity to interview a wide variety of people during this is nice too, because it's like, I'm interviewing a community producer, and then next I'm interviewing a supporter, and then now I'm interviewing you, who you've never been here before, have you?
I stopped here one time when like the Old North End events. Yeah, nice. You guys are always doing like something, right?
Well, tell us a little bit about the B-Town Brief.
Yeah, sure. So if anyone not familiar, it's like a newsletter. It comes out 3 times a week now. Yeah, I know it's kind of a lot, right? It's just me, but I put all the events. I like scour the 7 days, Facebook events, Instagram, Front Porch Forum, Hello Burlington, Meetup.com, Eventbrite, Flynn, UVM, like home games. So it's a lot, and I put it all together, right? So not everyone has to like scour through like all those different sites, right? Yeah, right. And so they can just see in their email. And then on Wednesdays, so I do the news and events on Mondays and Fridays. And then on Wednesdays, I do kind of more of like a community-focused one where it's like I take the polls from Reddit, like people always ask, or like there's Facebook groups where like people talk about restaurants and stuff, and they'll give their recommendations. So I'll like tally all of those like responses and put it in like a nice, easy to read like list for people, or like I'll do like future events to look forward to. I do local media podcast roundups. So that's really cool. Like there's so many Vermont podcasts that people don't know about, and like some people don't like to read the news, right? They like to listen to it. So I do like one deep dive on like one episode for a local podcast, and then I'll do like a recap of like 6 or 7 other local podcasts for that week. They're all hyperlinked, so you can go like check out the full episode. And then what else do I do on Wednesdays? I do like cool like top Reddit posts of the week. So I like scour Reddit and I look at like the last week, which one had the most votes or like the most engagement, and I post those on there. Food deals. I like to collect all the food deals around town, and I'll just like pick, I have a full list, right? But then I'll pick some ones just to fill into the newsletter. I have a big list of 202 things to do around Burlington that aren't events, right? That are like just activities that you could do.
Yep, just go to.
Sorry. And so I put that on there.
Nice.
I don't know. There's so much like it's been happening. And another cool thing that I like to do. Every Saturday, I have a coffee meetup. So I invite people to come, hang out. I usually get between like 7 and 30 people every week.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Where do you host that?
It's at Zero Gravity.
Okay.
It's on Saturdays at 10 a.m. And so, yeah, it's really cool. Once I get like, this is just me doing it, and I have a full-time job, so like this is just like on top of that.
I mean, this is like an incredible amount of work that you are putting together for these. I mean, 3 newsletters a week is incredible.
Lot, right? I heard you do.
I mean, I try, but it's not nearly to that degree. But like, I mean, why? Why are you doing it?
Yeah, right. Well, why did I do it? Well, I did it for myself, first of all. Like, I wanted to put all the events in one place because I like going to things, right? But, like, it's so difficult, and, like, there's so many choices. So I started with that, and then I put the news on there, right? You come for the events, but you stay for the news.
Right.
And then it's just grown from there. I'm like, what do people want? Cool. And so I guess that's where it started. Where do I see it going is, like, I have some really cool ideas, like I'd love to get more people to like meetups. Like there's so many cool activity-based businesses around here in Burlington. But like one of the problems is people don't want to go alone, or they don't want to go with like one other person, right? And sometimes they're too expensive, right? So like ideally is I get enough people in this like club or these meetups where like I get a discounted rate, for people, and like it just encourages you to go out there and socialize with someone that you see like weekly or like semi-weekly, so like you have that like sort of connection with someone, even if like they're a little bit outside your age range, or they could be. The more people I have, the more I don't know, people make the whole thing.
That's really awesome. So how can people subscribe to the B-Town Brief?
So go to btownbrief.com and just sign up there. I have merch too that I just launched last week. So that's really cool. Yeah, like 15 different designs of like, so they're cool like Burlington inspired designs, right? It's not like I Heart Burlington. It's more like if you know kind of like, so like I have like the filing cabinet, or like Champ as like a fossil, or like Port of Burlington, because like, it used to be a port. It's not a port now, but
I love that.
University of the Pit, even though there's no longer a pit, it was like a pit for like 8 years. So it's like, that was a kind of a cool little joke. I don't know, check it out. It's on my website too.
Well, Steve, thank you so much for like stopping by. Totally. I know I've been wanting to I've had that on my back burner. I'm like, what's the B-Town Brief guy doing? So I just want to, thank you for all your hard work. I mean, it's incredibly helpful to folks. And I love that you have a meetup every week, and that 7 to 30 people a week is incredible.
It's all about getting the word out. I have 2,000 subscribers, but I need more, right? That's always the hard part, because I don't I'm not really making much. I'm making enough in donations where like it covers the subscription amount to like send out the email. But like yeah, more
You
subscribers.
could always use more. You said btownbrief.com. btownbrief.com. I'll clip this and I'll put it on this camera. I'll clip it and I'll put it on our social, and maybe you'll get some more subscribers from that. But I'd also encourage you to check out some of the TV shows that we have. I mean, they're not podcasts, but people will do their monthly programs and about all sorts of different things.
More note about podcasts. I am working on a podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, right?
You just can't stop, huh?
I know, right? I got this guy Kwame. He used to be on the radio.
Yep.
The Kwame Vibe. He's DJ now, but he's gonna be helping me like talk to like local musicians
Nice.
and like maybe local businesses. Maybe even like doing like a recap of my like newsletter. Oh, and if anyone like wants to like do media for my newsletter, like just like recap. I want to recap my newsletter to like turn it into like social media clips, you know. And I'm not really good on camera. I don't know if you could tell, but
I think you're doing a great job.
thanks. That's the next goal. You know, I feel like a lot of people don't like to read. Well, it's like good to read, like,
Sure.
but like a lot of people don't have the time.
Well, it's kind of the same thing. It's like we record 8-hour-long city council meetings, and who wants to watch the whole 8 hours?
Like recap it. Yeah, I don't know if you know, but like 4-hour-long city council meeting, but I recap every single one, so you can read it in like 5 minutes. So check it out on my website too. I have all of them. So.
Well, Steve, thank you so much, and I'm so glad you stopped by. And good luck with continuing B-Town Brief and keeping it grow. Of course, yeah. I mean, it's very, very community centered and aligns well with our mission. So, thanks for being here. Okay, take care. All right, I can't tell if I'm ending the show. I have 2 more interviews. Really? All right, come on. Come over here.
I'm sorry.
You know that I have been live since like 4:30.
I do. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My feet are killing me.
I know. I can see you're doing a little.
I'm doing a
You're doing a little
telethon.
dancing.
I have been doing a little dancing. Like, ooh. Well, it's like these new shoes that I've never worn before, and like they have a heel, and bad decision. Anyways, I'm here with Jordan Butterfield.
Hello.
This one. How are you? You just came from Media Factory.
Come from Media Factory. That's true.
So fellow community media
Yes.
man and former channel coordinator here at Town Meeting TV.
That is correct.
And thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me for another year. Thank you for having me again. I'm happy to be here every year.
Well, it's funny because like when I started this program, the room was full of people. It's nice and loud.
Yeah.
And 6:12 now, crowd is petered out. But I was a little worried today with all the wind and rain that people were gonna like hunker down and not come out. But the rain stopped, and then they decided to come, and so this has been really incredible. Tell us a little bit about the what you've been working on over at Media Factory.
So at Media Factory, we do very similar things. We do municipal meetings. We also do school district meetings. We do public stuff, like we have our own studio. We have a radio station. We have equipment reservations. So we're very similar. We do pretty much the same stuff. And yeah, we're keeping on. I mean, I spent a lot of today working on an automated spreadsheet, so my brain is cooked. I have barely spoken to people. I've been looking at a screen all day, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well,
at least it's Friday. It's Friday. It's almost break time. Media Factory is one of 24 access centers throughout Vermont. I spoke to Gene Bergman earlier tonight, and he's had some very kind words to say about local media, public access, community media, and he mentioned like he wasn't sure if it was special to Vermont or if there were other states that had as robust local media as we do. And I said, we are incredibly lucky in the state of Vermont to have our collection of 24 media centers as a part of the Vermont Access Network, because it's not like this in other states. There's community media presence in other states, and some states are doing incredible work, but they're not as tight knit and working as well together as we are in Vermont, and I think we're incredibly lucky to have that. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Vermont's public access network is one of like the gems of public access in the country. I think we We're really lucky with the way that was structured, like in the early days, by a lot of great people, including like Lauren Glenn and Nat, and a lot of the people early on in the movement. And Vermont got a really cool structure where a lot of people were very collaborative. A lot of people have worked at multiple access centers and still know each other and work together, just like CCTV and Media Factory. We see each other. Well, we see each other all the time. So it's a really unique thing in the country. Yeah. So we're really lucky here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for taking a moment to chat with me. And I love that even though you're not a part of CCTV anymore, you're still in the community media realm, doing really great work over there at Media Factory. They're very, very lucky to have you, and I'm very lucky to have you.
Well, we appreciate you guys too, and we love working together. And thank you for another excellent year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Jordan.
All right, thanks, Em.
Okay, Megan. Oh my God, I'm like ready to fall over.
You've been working so hard.
It's been what has it been? An hour and 45 minutes?
Yes, it's not the telethon though.
It's not the telethon.
Okay.
I think I worked harder.
From people.
What did I hear from? Oh, and Jordan too. This is a nice special way to end this program. I talked with a nice wide variety of folks tonight. Love that Steve from B-Town Brief, who we've been trying to reach, just showed up. That's incredible. That's incredible. Really special interview with Ed and Gene Bergman. Love that they came on together, and they just had Gene just had Ed in on his show, and so I love when folks make connections. They know each other outside of this realm, but the partnerships that are made. Well, that's what I thought, but they had known each other before. But there were other connections made during the marketing workshop where it's just this is what it's all about, is getting these people that have similar work that they're doing connected. Lots of kind words about community media and the importance of free and local media. So it's been really great. My brain is turning off. I'm going to say, what have you heard from, because I've been mingling on camera, you've been mingling off camera. What has that been like for you tonight?
I love, I love introducing people. So introducing Sister Pat to Steve from B-Town Brief, because they're both talking about making connections and building. I don't know if Steve talked about that, his, figuring out how to get people together to attend events and as a cohort, as just the human connection thing. And because we do this not because we want to be on TV, which is this is this funny world, but we do this to make a connection. Hi, Kevin. Do we say thank you to Kevin, who's in the control room all night long? And thank you to Emily.
We need a control room cam.
Yeah, thank you to Emily. I'll go run the control room cam in a minute, but thank you to Emily for being here. And I'm just incredibly grateful to be able to do this work, and that this is where I get to show up, and these are the people that I get to work with, and this is how I get to occupy my time.
Yeah.
We're lucky. We are so lucky, people. You'd be jealous. I'm going to go get on the camera and get Kevin.
Megan's going to show Kevin. Jordan, what's something that has stuck out to you about 2025? Whether it's a program we recorded, a group we had come through the doors, some of the archiving work you've done, anything like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Here, I'll hold this since you've held it for 2 hours. I think, there you go. I think the telethon that we did this summer to raise awareness for the archives was a really big, this kind of feels like a telethon. We're back at the studio, seems to be never ending. But I think being able to bring the community in, which is what the telethon was about, right? We brought in people who had been doing studio shows. We brought in people who had never done a show before, or whether it was for music or for cooking or for something else. So I think, yeah, the telethon was a great standout from this year, and being able to bring in the community, and then we did that again tonight. So, yeah, great.
Well, you're not going to like that I say this on here, but Jordan just received a Bright Future Award at the Alliance for Community Media Northeast Summit. It was not a conference this year; it was a summit. But that being said, it was a brand new award that was created to recognize younger people in the field or new people in the field that are really like taking over leadership in the community media realm and really leading the charge and making sure that community media has a future. Tell us a little bit about, the work that you've been doing that you feel kind of got you that recognition. It's a weird question, but.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, I said it at the conference when I spoke. I think I'm very fortunate to be able to do this work here, and it's a great community, the public access community, but I also have to make sure I think the staff who help make it happen, because a lot goes on in the studio, in the field, and of course, and with the award, I'm very appreciative to receive the award in the inaugural. I guess that would be, the first one of the annual. So that was very, very sweet. But just, I think it's the staff, having a supportive staff around me that really helps me be able to do my work.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that. And with that, I think we've got this camera turned around. We've got Kevin in the control room. Thank you, Kevin. He's not going to do it. There he is. Hi, Kevin.
Oh God,
Staff
so
life,
much.
Kevin, and then everyone else here. So,
And maybe if Megan wants to flip the camera to show the rest of the folks that are here. Yay!
I think we'll close it out.
Yep. Well, everybody wave. Say goodbye. Yay! Another successful Town Meeting TV winter celebration. 2025. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and for listening to us chat to a wide variety of folks that we touch every day through our work. It's been really incredible, and I might make jokes about I stood here for an hour and 45 minutes. I mean, the fact that I am standing here for an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. And talking, there's enough people for me to talk to for 2 hours, and there's still people out there that I didn't interview. That's incredible. So, Jordan, thank you so much. I'm really happy to get this opportunity, and I want to wish everybody a happy new year and happy holidays. Thanks for being with us in 2025.